Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Sunday evening, 9 p.m. in the UK, but I guess it's different times all over the globe. And I've got a wonderful person I'll be talking to today. I am going to have the Victoria A. Glover, the wonderful woman I've been following, a connection of mine on LinkedIn. We're going to have a conversation, and the conversation is going to be focused on vision. I believe that Victoria and I have a lot in common, and vision is the one thing that has really stood out for both of us. I'm really excited to speak to Victoria, and I thought it'd be really nice for us to go live. We like to do things differently, both of us ladies. We're enthusiastic ladies that actually like to dive in before we think too much and try and over perfect things. So I actually met Victoria when we connected online and following her posts, and she was following mine too. We found that we had a similar mindset, a lot of things in common. We thought that it'd be wonderful to meet and talk and maybe even delve into a bit of possible collaboration in the future. So I was fascinated by Victoria's book, which is recently written. So I have invited Victoria, and we're both going to live conversation is going to happen today. And we hope that anybody listening is going to somehow find some of what we talk about resonating. If there's anything that gives you a light bulb moment, please do not hesitate to quote. Give us a lovely comment somewhere. This is live on YouTube and it's live on LinkedIn. If you miss it, you can always catch up at another time. You can come to my profile and also go to the YouTube channel to find the conversation. So I'm going to bring Victoria in now. Hello.
Hello, Monwara. How are you?
I'm good. Hello is safe, right? Because it's morning at your place.
It's morning at my place. It's 8 o'clock. I just finished my brekkie, and I'm just so looking forward to eating up everything that you're gonna give me as a dessert on top of that. So I'm so curious, just waiting for it. Just bring it on, Monwara. Bring it on.
Hello. So,
Hello.
Victoria, how long have we known each other?
That's I think the latter part of last year. So around July thereabout, July August, I think. So that's quite a bit now. That's a long time to get to know someone.
Mm, mm. And you are in another part of the world, which is quite far from me.
Very far, Sydney, Australia. It's been raining all week, and we've been enjoying the rains.
Oh, lovely, lovely. At least you're enjoying the rain. We've
Yes,
got we may have a few guests join us while we get in the flow out of our conversation.
yes,
As people come along, please do not hesitate to comment. But it might be quite difficult for us to focus on the chat. But we will, as we see, say hello. Hi, Gula. Lovely to have you on board. Victoria, I'm just like really fascinated by this book, and I see it. It's show us your book, the book that you have, right? A copy of your book. I understand that you're in the process of launching, doing a big launch.
yes,
What's style
yes.
got to do
This
with
is
it?
the book. What style got to do with it? Why some people succeed where others fail. It is jam packed. Every word in this title means something. So it's like a condensed version of a business card. And I hope people will want to grab a copy to see the magic in it.
Mm, brilliant. And when tell me a bit about the book. It's released. I know there's a lot in that book, and we talked about vision. I don't want to. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to go on the word vision first? Tell me a bit about
Yes.
vision before you
The
go
word
into the book.
vision, I see you put vision in leadership, but I want to put it back or into under the umbrella of the power of a woman's vision. In this case, we are the homemakers, and behind every successful man, there is a woman. Behind the downfall of a man, there could be a woman. So behind the progress or decline of anything around life has something to do with women. And so that tells you that women are the source of humanity. Call it that way. We are the source of growth in the home and around the globe. And so the power and the vision of a woman in a leadership position. Leadership mostly doesn't necessarily mean that you should be working in a corporate or something before you can become a leader. And most people will say that, well, I've only been a housewife for the last 10 years, so I don't know how I'm going to look for work because I don't have any leadership skills. What they don't know is that they have been groomed since the day they were born to be leaders, starting from home. So your CV, your resume is full of leadership skills, multitasking, planning, delegating, supervising, all of that. So when we are exchanging positions, when the daddy is not there, you are the dad, you got to drive the car, take them to school, and all of that stuff. They are all skills that when you are employed somewhere, you can just customize it for you to be able to run. So for me, leadership, this book could easily be titled, Leadership, Management, and Influence. It's as simple as that. That will easily fit into this book. So this book, it's about leadership as well, but this leadership also stems from the individual, how they are able to use their power as a woman or as a human being to run their home and to run their businesses. So that's what the book is about. So it's just condensed into a summary of a fashion book. I use fashion because fashion is the easiest thing that everybody can relate to because everybody learn how to dress. You get, it is one of the two skills that you get taught when you are growing up. So mommy has been dressing you up, and now mommy wants you to dress yourself up. So slowly, slowly, you learn to pick your own clothes and all of that stuff. So I chose fashion because it is also the key background that I have been working with for the last, how many years. So, and also I chose it because it's relatable.
Mm, fantastic. And you say, you've been in the fashion business for many, many years, and then you talk about women and family. So,
Yes.
how would you say your role, or naturally you being a woman, really helped you progress with your fashion business?
And that's fantastic question because like I said, the first business we ever run is the home. Whether you are single or you are married, you've been in business all this while, you just didn't know. It is called business. It is that aspect of women and family. So when you added the extra layer of being in business, not only running your home, but running someone else's life and coaching them and guiding them, supporting them and mentoring them, then you have additional layer of management or additional layer of multitasking where you have to be able to plan your day, organize the hours, do your calendar, and be able to manage resources, including money and other people's time. So you are not only helping yourself and planning yourself, you are a woman on a mission. Your family has now extended to the global stage where you have children everywhere else around the world because those customers and clients become a family at the same time. So you can't have one without the other. But the good thing is we've been primed and we've been doing this for a while. And so we are only taking it to the next level. No wonder we are here today talking about it. And this is the powerful position that women hold. That is why I want to call it the power of a woman's vision. It is so powerful, so potent, so incredible if we can use it, the whole world would be a better place to be.
I agree with you 100%. I think women are best placed. So it's very interesting you say that about the family, the comparisons you make towards the family home and how the woman holds the family together, and in a leadership role, I guess, in a business and your clients and your customer base. It's so interesting that you make that connection, because I think often, like in a lot of the business world, especially the corporate world, the boundaries that we are taught within a professional background always encourage us from the very beginning that there should be a big disconnect between how you actually service others and how you run your personal life. But
Yeah.
actually, it's quite interesting that you've got a lot of like people like Simon Sinek, for example, where he talks about your employment or your environment. The best business environments are those where everyone treats each other like family.
Yes.
So yeah, I just, that I find like really, I thought maybe I'm like being a little bit, I'm thinking differently, and perhaps it's only me, but I'm beginning to realize, because I didn't even know about this guy and his books a couple of years ago, Victoria. And now the more I come across some of his talks, and I've read some of the books, I just find it so insightful. So tell me a bit about personal style and impact, because your book is titled Style. What do you mean about that? Like, explain, please, go into detail.
The word style is a lot of people see it. The moment you say style, people's mind go to dressing. Unfortunately, the dressing is just one aspect of style. Your style of leadership, your style of approach to things, your style of walking, your style of doing, your style of everything. Style is a very broad word. But if we bring it into a summary, if we bring it closer to ourselves, the word style I use there is, if you put a dot in between every word there, I have something for you. And that has been captured in the book. But the first thing I want to mention to you is, I'll just take one word from that, and that is called season. In fashion, there's season, and in life, there is season. The seasons of our lives and the seasons of leadership. We can see now around the world that people are leading from different angles. So some people are leading from the front, some are leading from behind. There are some leaders that are proactive, and you can see them, you can feel them, you can hear them. And there are some leaders that are leading from behind. You wouldn't see them. You wouldn't, like my mom, she is not as loud as I am, but she is so powerful and one of the role models I could ever talk about. So most of us take style as just about dressing. Where about dressing has an impact upon what we do. So I always say that when we dress up, we are dressing up from two different angles. Those angles are, you are dressing up from pain or you are dressing up from pleasure. Where does that fit in everyday life? We go towards things that draw us in. If we are operating from pain, we want to run away from it. If we are operating from pleasure, we are always running towards it. So whatever it is that we are doing now, regardless of how old you are or how young you are always doing, you are running towards who you are. When you were young, there are things you were doing when you were young that you want to bring forward. The same way, there are things that you want to run away from when you were young, and it's just so painful, you don't want to go there. So these are two different angles that we operate from all the time. If you want to talk about style, you can also replace that with choice. Our style is rooted in the choices that we make. If we look around our homes, all of these choices represent something, and this is why a lot of people cannot let go of things that are in the home. They hoard the things, they keep it as much as long as they want, because that represents something for them. It comforts them in a particular way. So style is no different from anything else. If you want to look at that a little bit more precisely, you have to make it personal. That is why we call it a personal style, because a personal style, if you understand your personal style, you can make impact when you step out from your door. And when you step up, when you are in the lift and someone says, oh, that's a nice outfit you are wearing, you have thought about it, it feels well, it fits you well, the color suits you, and all of that stuff. And then you can talk to the person from a place of pleasure, because it feels good, it looks good, and you understand what it means to you. You can talk to the person and say, this actually means something. This, necklace I'm wearing means something for me. It's from the African jungle, whatever it means to somebody. The moment someone asks you or is looking at you, that's pleasure. But if it causes you pain, the moment someone mentions it, you want to cover it up. You want to run away from it. So our personal style and the impact we make all stem out from the choices that we make. So it's so crucial that everybody who hasn't got their colors done, you need to see an image consultant, a stylist, to do the color for you as a person and the color and all of that for your business, because they go hand in hand. Life is business and business is life.
Well, I've got you here, so I'm not going to miss that opportunity. What's my color then, Victoria?
There are a lot of other things that I take into consideration when I'm doing colors. Most of the time, when we are doing fashion color analysis for people, the psychological aspect and impact that it does for people, but I go a little bit more behind that. This book is about the science behind the person, or the story behind the story, or the person behind the outfit. You can call it whatever way. So before I do your colors, I will have to have a chat to you or look at you closely and look at some things. The reason why I said that is that there are things that in fashion they said, this is not your color, you can't wear that, this doesn't work for you. So what if I like it and I want to wear it? So what I do is that if you like it, we'll make it work. If you like it, we'll find a way of putting it together for you. So you will have your core colors, and then you also have the colors that you like because they mean something to you. So you are not losing anything. So you can go out with confidence and operate from a place of pleasure.
Now, that's what I call thinking outside the box.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Because then you can choose some colors for some. I'll give you an example. Someone walked into my shop some time ago, and she's got her hair done blonde, and because there's this person she's been following, and the person is influencing her choices. But her key color, she's not a blonde person. The root of her hair is different. The moment she walks through, there was this particular electric blue dress that was hanging there, very beautiful, looking stunning. She walked straight to that one and grabbed this one, grabbed this one, grabbed this one, and then she put it on. Doesn't work. She loved it, but she can't wear it. What was the difference? There was a disconnect of who she is. Her personality is drawn towards this. Her key colors is those sort of colors, but she went to dye her hair blonde because she haven't
Mhm.
got her colors done. So if you put on the thing, the outfit looks good on you, but your face towards where your hair is, it's looking different, and you put a lot of things into it, and that one you have to wear a lot of makeup, a lot of this, but still something doesn't sit right. So what I want to say is, if you have your colors done for you, you put on the colors that are in your wardrobe. They are colors that speaks to you in a certain way. They work for your skin color, they work for your hair, they work for your eye, and all of that stuff. And so you don't have to be having this disconnect. So this is why research shows that 80% of the things in our wardrobe, we don't wear them. That should scare you.
Mhm.
80% we don't wear them, or we rarely wear them. Why? Because we want to buy them when we feel like it, and then we convince ourselves logically why we buy them. But then every time you put it on, it doesn't work. You take it out. It doesn't work. You take it out. And it goes on and on. But you are still shopping. You're still buying it. And you are not wearing it. So that's money and time wasted. It gives you stress. It frustrates you when you are looking for something to work. The main thing is to zoom in on the 20% that works for you, and then you can flow from a place of pleasure.
Well, you haven't looked at my cupboard, but you have been following me for 6 months now. Tell
I
me.
have. I
Tell me,
have.
what are my colors? Tell me, Victoria.
You are doing very well in terms of colors. In terms of colors, the colors, for instance, if you are a winter person, or you are summer, or whatever your colors are, there are also three different layers in those colors, and those colors, as long as you're operating, there are some colors that overlap each other. As long as you're operating in those colors, you are good to go. You look good in winter colors, and you look good in some of the autumn colors. these colors, all the color palettes, intersect at a certain point in time. So as long as you are picking on the darker colors that work with your skin tone and all of that stuff, you are doing good. You haven't set any foot wrong so far. You do all the colors, and the ones that are bright, they look good. Those that are not extremely bright, they are still good. They are in the color palette, so you're doing well. They bring out your skin and your face look good.
Well, growing like mainly during my teenage years, because I used to wear clothes that were a lot more bigger than my normal size because I didn't like to draw attention to
Yes,
myself. I used to
yeah,
wear black a lot,
yeah,
and black and yellow became my favorite color. But yellow was the opposite to black because yellow
yeah,
really made me shine too much and
yes,
I got too much attention. So, but for some reason, yellow always really, drew me, but I very rarely wore it. But I think over the years, as my confidence has grown,
yeah,
I've been more confident in wearing colors like red and
yeah,
pink and purple. And I actually have to say, there isn't a color I don't actually like.
yes.
And I
The
don't
thing
know
is,
what doesn't suit me. I don't
yes,
know.
yes, because you see, you mentioned yellow and you mentioned black. If I'm doing your colors, I'll listen to you. I will listen to you. Those two things say something profound you didn't know. The yellow says you don't want to draw attention to you, but that's who you are. You
Mm,
can't, you are the sort of light that cannot be hidden. You are trying to hide yourself. That's why you go for the black. But inside the black is a yellow person that is screaming out to come out. But then every time you want to come out, you just go and press yourself down again. You are too loud. Don't draw attention to yourself. Just shut up a little bit. That sort of thing. If you link it to every other thing you've been doing, you can see that it is the same way you approach some other stuff as well. Because sometimes you are restricting yourself. Should I not? Should I? But the key person that you are, it shows you that you are not a quiet person, but you can be quiet if you want to be quiet. But you are not naturally a quiet person. If you are not talking, you are either showing it in your body language or you are writing it. Even if you don't open your mouth, you are screaming out loud without saying a word. That's why they say style is, if you find your style, you can just step out without saying a word. You're saying so much. So there are people you wouldn't even have to meet them. They have so many layers upon layers upon layers. They are trying to hide something. They are trying to hide something, or they are trying to tone something down. They don't want people's attention to go there. So many people said if you wear black, it slims you down. It's true. And it can, if you are a big person, it doesn't matter how many black you layer yourself on, you are still a big person. So
mm.
my thing is, if you want to wear black, you wear black because you want to wear black, but then you throw something else a little bit in here and there. If you want to mute things down, then of course you can do color on color to mute things down. And then you don't want to, but your personality is always clashing. That's why I did mention that you are always operating from a place of pleasure or pain. And then you are always running towards something or you are running away from. So the yellow is you running towards your personality, and then the black is you running away from that personality, trying to mute it so that you are not in people's face too much. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. I can't tell you anything because you're right. But Gula has made a comment about the black and the yellow thing. But I mean, I was a teenager, and I guess because I grew up with a lot of dysfunction around me, and in a community where I guess like I didn't really want the attention and I didn't want the trouble that would come with the attention. If I was seen with a like a someone from an opposite gender from a different cultural background, that would mean a lot of trouble in my family. So it was best that I didn't draw that kind of attention. So I always wore like loose clothes, black often, but like as after I guess probably more so towards the late 20s, maybe early 30s, I started to be a lot more self-confident. And also because I found that there were family members that were comparing, because I started very young. I was always that responsible child who was more mature than every other child my age.
Mm.
So for me, like, I guess I sometimes became self-conscious because I seemed to feel and understand what others were thinking around me, and if someone was comparing, like, themselves to me, I just found myself, like, I would be in a group of women, in a room full of women, and if I found that another woman found me maybe a bit too confident and they would go in their own shell because they're comparing themselves, I would then try and keep myself quiet.
You go back into the black. Just to mute it for others. Either you are muting it for yourself or you are muting it for others because you don't want to be too loud and all of that. So when I start helping people to develop their unique personal style through education and investment, the difference that makes for you before you can bridge the two between the yellow and the black is where you have these other colors that you are wearing. It symbolizes a shift between the yellow and the black. It means that you are beginning to accept yourself a little bit more than you were 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it is. It means that you are also creative. It also means that you like to experiment with things. So sometimes the experimentations comes with the colors we choose or the food. Food is one of the ways that you can play with colors, and the dressing is another one, and then video production is one of those things, photography and all of that stuff, all the design work. So you can see that inside that person is the creativity, and I always say that the creator is always in the creation. The creator is always in the creation. That is why an artist may die, do a painting 1,500 years ago, and that painting is still costing so much. People have to vie for that painting. Why? Because the original piece is got his signature in it. You see that painting, this one is from so and so person. The same thing, because we are constantly creating something that we are not even aware that we are doing. So the shift between your black and your yellow, or your muted person and your loud person, the shift between that is for you to play with certain things and see which one. So that's why I always encourage people, spend time in your wardrobe. Take a day, take a seat and sit in front of your wardrobe. Just take pen and paper. Ask yourself, what do I see in this wardrobe? Is there a lot of pain in the wardrobe or a lot of pleasure in the wardrobe? If there's a lot of pain, that 80% they say people don't use, yours might be 98%. If it is a pleasure, you will have more of the 20% more than the 80%. So on average, we are constantly operating between these two. What give you the bridge between the two is education and investment. When you discover the education, then you have to invest your time, your energy, and all that you have into it, into practicing it. And so I have a different take on education. Education in my language, I divide that into three. The word edu in my language means to eat, and then the C in the middle, I'll come back to that. And then the last three word is et, which is the opposite of eating. The middle section, which is the C in the middle of the word educate. The C is your ability to use your foresight, your insight, your hindsight, and your eyesight to craft something, to create something that become the ladder, the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. So what you ate yesterday, let's say you used to wear black, that's what you ate yesterday. But for you to get to the yellow aspect of you and grow from there, you have to be able to use this foresight and use your hindsight to see what works for me, and use your insight and your eyesight to see what is actually visually appealing to me, and then use your foresight to say, where do I want to be in 10 years time? Who do I want to be in years to come? and then you bridge all of that together. So you've got your education pack. So you start looking for information in the areas that help you to be where you want to be. And that education, that's why education never finishes, whether you've been to school or you haven't been to school. Someone hasn't been to school, but they can function or they can give you advice that can work for you than someone else who have a degree. So if you have a degree and you have the homeschooling or the educational aspect, which is the human aspect of it, if you combine both, you can see that you are on track to where you want to be. So that's where your map of life is. If you can put the education and the investment together, you will go from A to B to where you want to be. So you got to do what you have to do what you have to do so you can get the chance to do what you want to do by discovering yourself.
That's deep.
Very deep.
Very
It's
deep.
low.
I'm
It's
still
low.
I'm still trying to take it in. But one of the things like many I've seen many coaches and many people say is we don't sometimes we can become stagnant. The potential to grow and the potential to develop is always there, just as the world is moving all the time. We have that potential for education, learning, but sometimes we can become stagnant.
Yes.
Often I find that that is the case when we're not actually investing in ourselves. We stop investing.
Yes.
And we talked about colors, and I mentioned yellow and black. But
Yes.
over the years, all the colors became my friend. I wasn't a great big fan of red either because it brought too much attention to me.
Mm,
But I have to say that in different environments, I've deliberately presented myself in a certain way. So when I worked for the local authority, I had to fit in. I remember when I went to university and I was studying law,
mm,
and when people told me, "Oh no, someone like you're not going to get into the legal profession. It's very white, middle class man's profession. You're not going to get in." And I remember like how I changed all my wardrobe
mm. To
because I
suit.
wanted to fit in. And I had this thing about me: once I get my foot in and I'm in there, then I'll turn back into myself again. But I need to do what I need to do to get
Yes.
in.
Yeah. You see, the funny thing is, I always say there's a proverb in my culture. They say if you pour water on the ground, it goes back into the sea. It always go back to the source.
Mm.
So that's why I did mention that you can never run away from who you are. It doesn't matter where they put you. You will always go back to what you are comfortable in doing and familiar with. So that familiarity is rooted in pain or pleasure. That familiarity is pain or pleasure. So if that is why if we get outside our comfort zone, we get different results. So Einstein says that you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So if you want to change that result, then of course you go back to your roots. But the thing is, one of the things I do is I don't just do the colors. I want to see whilst the person is talking to me, I listen and I listen very closely. Where is this person coming from? Why does she like this? You mentioned red. There are different types of red. There are certain red you can wear, but there are certain type of red you can wear. So you have to find your red that suit you, and you can still wear red. Same thing with yellow. There are different type of yellow that means different things to different people, suit to different skin tones and colors. You have to find your yellow. Which yellow do I have? Is it the loud one or the muted one? It's always the same, the loud and the muted. So the red for me, it means so much to me from my childhood. It's rooted in my childhood. The red, I chose it because it means so many levels for me. It also represents what mom told me when she dresses me up when I was young. I get excited every time red is in the colors that are mixed up and all of that. But apart from that, it's a color that actually excites me, means so much to me as a person, and the interpretation of it, whatever it is good for my personality. So I'm always out there loud, and I dress loud, I talk loud, I create things very loudly and all of that. But you'll be surprised that I can be as quiet as you be. Sometimes I wonder whether I'm introvert or extrovert, whatever it is, a mix of both, I can do them. But the thing is that the core aspect of my personality is the loud side. Why is it so loud? I don't want to mute the volume on who I am. I'm a village girl. My journey is from the village. I learn everything I want to learn fundamentally from the village. And then the entrepreneurial skills that I have now, I've been selling from the village, and all of that. From an island to the town where mom is. So when the sheep docks, I go and sell bread, I sell banana, anything I can sell, I'm always selling something to someone. Even when I went to school, boarding school, I'm cutting people's hair, barbering and doing that and collecting money. I mean, where do you learn those things? I mean, I'm always active about, I'm doing something and generating money. If everybody run out of money, I have some money under my pillow and so on and so forth. So if you see what people are doing now, compare it to what they were doing before, there's a link between the before and the now, and each one of them is operating from a pain or pleasure. Because I have the pleasure of selling and making money when I was young and all of that, I was selling in front of our family store and all of that stuff, generating my own money, putting under the pillow. Unfortunately, now we can't put the money under the pillow, right? We're doing all of that. I know the importance of money when you are trading. So if you can't generate cash flow for your business, you cannot increase your revenue and you are stuck. The business is just stagnant and you don't know what to do. Someone have to wake you up and say, this is how much money you are leaving on the table. Just about how our wardrobes are, we are leaving so much in our wardrobe that we don't even touch. They are just sitting there 80%. The same thing goes with our businesses. A lot of money is being left on the table and we don't know. We don't, what else can I do? I'm doing what everybody else is doing, but you are not generating the money. The key thing is you have to craft and customize your business and your personal style to be in alignment. So if your life and your business is in alignment and you know how much money you are leaving on the table and you can go in there and dig that money and bring it onto the surface, you'll be all of a sudden you'll be surprised how much money you've been left on the table. And this is where I bridge my personal style skills with the business strategy coaching to help individuals who want to go into business and who are already in business, coaches, consultants, physical businesses, whatever it is, call it any business. For someone to come in there to help you to diagnose the health of your business, to see what is going on. Are you struggling with cash flow? Are you struggling with revenue increase, or generating leads? You are generating leads but you can't convert them. How do you blend all of this? They are still represented in our wardrobe as well. It's just like the wardrobe. Things are sitting there that we are not using. Same thing in business. It's the same thing is happening. So sometimes the way we run our lives, we are running the business the same way, but we just don't know it. Unless someone tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you know what's going on here? You need some help. And sometimes it's difficult for us to raise our hands and say, I need help. It's that's why people buy one program after the other. Sign up for this, sign up for this. They are spending hours on YouTube trying to learn something. But sometimes the core answer is within. Until you go within to have a look and reflection and someone draw your attention to it, you still keep going back from pain to pleasure all the time.
I completely get you there. And did you find that when you were writing the book, that was going within?
Yes. This book is a biography. It's a leadership book. It's a fashion book. It's a business book. You can think about all there is, because everything that is touched in this book is based on one word: humanity. Humanity is reflected in this book. If you go behind the person behind the person behind the outfit is a whole new chapter you are going to write. So what I do is I help people to find their master key, the master key that can open that the front door and lead you into the big house with different rooms in it. So I have different keys to. I have a master key to help you open that front door, and then I have keys for you to open each and every door that is in that house, to see every room, what how much money is being left on that table. So every room have something else. So if I come to your business, I have up to about 60 keys that can help you look for that money that is sitting there you are not using. The same way with your wardrobe, the same thing. So you can't have one without the other. Marriage and business are the same. You are constantly planning and delegating, timing, multitasking, and doing these things like a woman. Whether you are a man or a woman, you are a human being first. You are a human being first before you are a man or before you are a woman. If I squeeze you, you feel pain. So it doesn't matter whether you are a man or a woman. If I squeeze you, you feel the pain. The same way, if we want to incorporate all of this into our lives, we have to look at things from a holistic point of view and generate that income that we've been sitting there waiting for all this while.
Mm. Mm.
It's so it's in our face, but you just can't see it. Someone hold the mirror to you and like, oh, is that me? That's why I have to spend a lot of time in front of the wardrobe. Sometimes there's a mirror in front of the wardrobe. You take the
So,
thing and you look. That's what it is. Business is the same.
but then don't you feel sometimes we're so busy analyzing others, we don't actually look in the mirror ourselves?
Yes,
Many of us.
that is so true. You see, life is like driving on the highway. You have to be in your lane, okay? If you want to go into the next lane, what do? You use the rear mirror to see who is coming. You look, you scan the road ahead of you to see, using your windscreen, and then you use the side mirrors to see if there's any blind spot someone else is in those. This is what education does for us. And because we are busy on the highway looking to see who else is next to me, who else is next, when you should be in your lane. If what you do is that if you are not focusing on your lane, you're going to run into someone, or someone is going to run into you or hit you from the back, you might not survive, because most people have a crash on the highway of life just by looking at who else is wearing this. In fact, this outfit looks good. Where did you buy it? I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy one. But her personality is different from your personality. Her background is different from your background. Her culture is different from your culture. So if you are styling someone, you don't know anything about the person's culture. You don't want to know. You just go boom, boom, boom. These are your colors. Excellent. See you later. That's fine. You choose the color for her, but she's used to wearing black. And you say, no, 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 your colors are yellow. Go for yellow, go for yellow, go for yellow. When you can help the person to bridge the black and the yellow together, come out with a beautiful combination. She's got both. She's excited. She's happy, regardless of culture or environment or whatever. She's good. She can blend in. She doesn't have to turn anything down. She's still herself. She's in her element. She's productive. She can give you results. How impactful would that be?
Massively.
Yes.
Massively impactful, massively.
Yeah. Yes.
I just going back to what you said earlier about leadership and vision and things.
Yes.
Some people, some leaders, or let's just, if we put it in the context of the woman in the family,
Yes.
there is the type of leadership where you are in the forefront, and there is a
Yes.
type of leadership where you are in the back foot,
Yes.
playing from the back foot. I
Yes.
believe though the same person can play both roles.
Yes. Yes.
And if I give you an example of myself, like being
Yes.
brought up in an Asian sort of, having a cultural upbringing,
Yes.
married at 19,
Yeah.
my husband's family is huge.
Mm.
I often had to be back foot in
Yes.
a lot of things because one, I was young,
Yeah.
and two, like the whole environment, they were in the village, the
Yes.
environment was very different. I
Yes.
was from the western culture, they were from that culture, and
Okay.
often, in a society where women don't speak, men do.
Yes.
you know uh, uh,
Yeah.
there was a lot of the back foot thing, but
Yes.
then gradually over time realizing that also, why is it my daughter or girls my daughter's age from my kind of background, why are they not stepping up? And I
Yes.
realized that I do need to be in the forefront.
Yes. There's a writing that I saw in a shop one day and I bought it. The writing says, "Do you want to talk to the man that's in charge, or do you want to speak to the woman who knows what she's doing or who is in charge? The man is in control, the woman is in charge." The example is this: the man is always at the forefront, and sometimes in some cultures the woman is at the back. But sometimes the man who is in front doesn't make any decision except he consults his wife. Sometimes they will not be speaking, but she is so overwhelmingly leading from the front. But because she's not saying anything, people thought, yeah. So before you can get through to that man, you have to go through his wife. But his wife is maybe tiny little somebody you don't see, but you don't know the influence she has on the man. And sometimes also, the woman is doing so well, you can hardly see the husband in the news or anything. She's doing so well. The husband doesn't like the limelight. He's probably leading from the back, but he's actually at the front. In other words, when you look at when I was crafting my logo, you saw this woman with the hat. The hat goes off and comes down. Hat goes off. There are some days that the woman have to wear the hat of the man. There are some days that she have to find her place in the back, but doesn't mean that she's not doing. So in different cultures, it sometimes women are not given the table. So if you are not on the table, you are on the menu, right? So when you go into a restaurant, you're either looking at the price or the ingredients in the food, in the whatever menu you choose. That determines how much money you have. So you are looking at the money column, money column. "Oh, I have only $10. So yeah, pick something $10." That's where you are limiting yourself. But a man that gives his wife the chance to flow in the house, and culture says when you go out, she shouldn't be loud. He knows when he go out with the wife, he knows that whatever decision he wants to make, he will consult with the wife. But a lot of cultures doesn't give you that. But it doesn't mean the woman is just sitting there. This is where the unpacking of the power of women, the power of the vision of a woman comes in. The woman can be the one crafting the decision. That is why when women play their role and play it very, very well, the home goes, but some men feel a little bit intimidated. And sometimes also some women, they stick it in your face. You say, "You think you're a man? I'm ahead of you. I'm doing this, I'm doing this." And so men sometimes think that the woman is too loud, so they mute you out. They turn the volume down. You didn't know you're screaming. They turn it down. So the question is, how do we balance the men's side and the women's side? It's all about negotiation. That's why I try to break down the word education for you. The first word is edu, which means to eat. The last word is et, which is the past. In other words, we need to be feeding into what we learn about this, pour some new things into it, take some things out. That's why we can't live on the food we eat the last 5 years, because another food have to come in to give us nourishment and growth. And that is the education aspect. The more education we are giving to each other, the more we are educating each other and progressing in what we find ourselves, the better the society. But the moment we tend to see you are not a human being. I don't care what you feel. I don't care what you are thinking. The man is trying to tone the woman down. The woman is trying to tone the man down. The man is trying to raise his wife. The woman is trying to raise his wife. You can see that when these bridges are met, when these bridges are, on the same route, trying to get to the same destination, when both of you are interested in each other's progress, you don't have to mute anybody else's. You allow this person to be as loud as he wants to be, and then sometimes you just have to tap in a little bit more, bring it to this level. It's okay, but don't mute it. That's how simple it is. So we have to look at each other from a human point of view. The best niche you can focus on in life is the human niche, the humanity aspect. If you take it out of your marriage, you are out. If you take out of your business, you are out. You can money, you can get to the top, but the top can be lonely. But if you bring it to the human aspect and say, how are my teams feeling? How is the team going on? Get to know them one on one. What is your challenges? What is taking you? What is the pain of? The more you listen as a human being, The more you can help someone come with you. Good leaders tend to duplicate more leaders. Good leaders tend to duplicate more leaders, regardless of whether they are leading from the back or from the front. They are looking to progress more people so that when they are not there, that person can step up. When we are in school, the bright student will be teaching sometime when the teacher is not there. The same thing we should be doing on a daily basis to help others also arise and rise up to the occasion.
Isn't that what we do as well as parents?
Yes, yes. Parents say you are just 19-year-old Mora. You are just too loud. I'm your mother. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Yeah, I listen to you. I'm 19 and you are my mother. I'm listening to you, but I have an opinion about something. What you need to do at that time is to listen to her. So you listen, she listens to you and you listen to her. So at that time, you are the mother, you're leading from the front, she's at the back. Now she wants to step up to raise her game. You have to listen to her and see what is she that she's got to even if you are not going to act on it, just give her the opportunity to speak to you. And this is where a lot of parents are missing out. You don't know what is happening in the child's life. By the time you know it, she just shock you with something. You're like, how can she do this to me? Is she serious? How can she do this to me? Because you don't know what's happening in her life. Every time she tries to say something to you, I'm busy, just take this money and go away. She have something to say, I'm busy, or you just shut up. I'm your mother, I'm talking to you. What do you know? You are only this age. The moment we start shutting them down, muting them, when they go out and their peers says, oh, you are this good, turn up the volume. When they go out, they turn up the volume. They come home, you mute them. It's just a matter of time. It's a big slap of surprise coming to you, and you're gonna be, what do I do? What do I do? This is the power. So we need to allow each other to flow in the comfort of whatever it is environment we find ourselves.
I would say that about women. They don't, I have so many friends, and I'm sometimes really shocked by how little they understand their own influence or their power,
Yeah.
the power of their influence. Because, it's really, we're talking about vision here. It's really sad because if you ask an average person in their 60s, what
Yeah.
are the top three things you regret? Parenting always comes one of the top three.
Mm, mm,
And, it's sad that we don't realize until it's too late that
yes.
the influence we had all along that we could have had on our children, we don't think about it. I had someone pass away recently who was like quite a lot older, and I remember having a conversation, and I said, what happens after you're gone?
Oh.
And that person said, well, after I'm gone, like, I don't have any faith that any of the others will be able to carry on what I'm doing.
Mm,
And I thought to myself at the time, what a missed opportunity, because there was plenty of people there that could have been picked up and coached and mentored.
hmm.
And that opportunity was lost because that individual didn't realize.
They didn't realize, you just pointed out time is one of those things. The moment we are spending here talking, this time is never going to come back. It will not come back again. When you lose time with your children or with your business, it doesn't come back again. That is why many people are running to this program here, sign up for this program here, sign up for this program here. What my business does is to help you to craft, save you the time, to create a map for you step by step where you are going, how much time you can save for yourself and for the business. If you have a lot of time available to you, what are you going to use it for? The same thing when you are running a business, it's like parenting a child. It's like parenting a child. The time you are wasting there, when the time goes, it's not coming back. Yesterday is not coming back today. The day goes forward. You need to use your foresight. Everything goes forward, doesn't go backwards. So if you're a parent and you are missing out on your child's progress, it's not going to come back. So maybe 10, 15 years later, you make up. Now my daughter and I are on the same We are chatting now. But those days have gone. You are on the same now, you're trying to make things up. But those days that are gone, they don't come back again. So the question is, how do you invest time into all of these things? The more you can do it, save time for yourself. And as a parent or a business owner, if you can save time, you can do more things. There's only 24 hours in a day. The way someone uses their 24 hours determines the progress of their business or the progress of their family or the progress of anything else they find themselves doing. Why? Because that 24 hours that left is not coming back. So the one
Mhm.
you invest today, you will meet tomorrow. So today will be yesterday's tomorrow. And today and tomorrow will be today. When you get to tomorrow, it doesn't come back. It's gone. It's gone. And so you have to be able to be accountable for how you use your time and what you invest into it. And the one that goes to yesterday, see if you can recoup some of those by investing into tomorrow, today, so that you don't regret anything. Life moves forward, doesn't go backwards. But we need to go use our foresight and our hindsight to see what worked, what doesn't work. And then between today, the bridge between tomorrow and yesterday is today. Sit down today, live in the moment, spend time in the moment, be with the people that matters, spend time with your business, spend time in your wardrobe, spend time with your family. You will see that a lot of things will start to shift for you, and you will get to understand a lot more where you are going and who you want to become in the future. We got to do what we have to do so we can do what we need to do. But before we do that, we need to understand the power of vision, power of value. I have 7 V keys: the power of vision, the power of your values. Your voice is at the center of each and every one of this. But our vulnerability always comes creeping up. Do you think you can really do this? Do you really think you can do this? Vulnerability is that which dim your light so that you are not visible enough for people. You are not visible enough to bring out what it is that you want to say, to bring the cup home victoriously. So your victory depends on how you use that 24 hours available to you every day to bring the results you want to do. Legacy is in our hands. The way we turn that key in the door is in our face. It's up to you to turn the key, to lock some doors that needs to be open and open some doors that needs to be locked. If you do that, you will account for your 24 hours. There we go. So everything I want to say about style, this is why some people succeed where others fail. Style got everything to do with it.
Excellent. It's like so powerful what you've just said. Your This hour is almost like a book.
Yes. It's a whole book.
It's a whole book.
Yeah.
Excellent, brilliant. And just last thing, I don't want to, I mean, we've been talking for a while now, but I don't want to take any more, much more of your time. But I had this question. It's not politics, but one of the things that many of us in leadership roles feel very strongly about is putting someone in charge who perhaps doesn't know how to make decisions because they don't have vision. And as you kind of touched upon earlier, you could have someone in that role who is either on a back foot,
Yeah.
but whether they're on the back front or back or front players, that's
Yeah.
regardless. The issue here isn't whether they're at the front or the back. The issue
Yeah.
is, do they have the foresight? Now, it really upsets me sometimes because I see people that have no foresight whatsoever, and
Yeah.
they're put in the leadership role. And actually, the only reason why they continue being in that role and they can manage in that role is because they've surrounded themselves with a team who advise them. So,
Yes.
how, because I know you must be following my post recently, and I keep going on about it, and I
Yeah.
keep going on about innovation. Like, how, in your opinion, can we change this?
So I will like to answer that by telling you a story. I was running a company, a multi-million company, a couple of years ago, and I have key 16 people that I was looking after. And then after I got sick of that, I wanted to work with a smaller company just to see. And I thought that was going to be a walk in the park, only to run into the kind of people you were describing. What I realized was that what worked in the previous one worked here, but I have to tweak it a little bit. So these people, there are some people who are in a position that they are not strong enough to sustain that. They can only function just because someone else is there. So their position of leadership, if they can function on that, someone who have the strength can be put there. But most of the time, it is so intimidating for other people. So what I did was that the last group of people that I manage, I tend to look at them just like mapping. I map everybody out. It's like a folder for everyone. And then in that folder, I find a leadership position for each one of them, but in a different area. So you are in charge of this, and if I'm not there, you are running the show here. You are running the show here. All of a sudden, people who cannot make a decision find themselves have to make a decision. Now, how do they do that? Because they don't have that consistency. They don't do it very often. They operate from a place of pain. And could it sustain someone else come in and press a button, then they go off. And so what I did was that to take them to a routine about planning. Leadership is about planning, delegating, and supervising. Planning, delegating, supervising, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So because they don't know it, you craft it into that triangle for them. And so this situation tomorrow, this is what we are doing. Where do you think this one falls in, and where will your planning come in? And how would you how would you approach that? What will be your plan for tomorrow? And then she would tell me, oh, I will do this, I will do this. Okay, so if you need to delegate, who would you put into doing this for you to get the results? And then she will come out and say, so some people naturally they can't sustain themselves over there. So you put a structure in place to help them to be able to go into there routinely, because we are people of we have habits. Once the person gets into that habit, and to doing that triangle, which of the triangle should I be doing now? Okay, I've planned. Okay, I've delegated this. Okay, now what do I need? I need to supervise. So how do I supervise? And you give them all of that. If you can summarize it personally, I summarize it into that three. If they are not capable of giving you the result, then of course you can move them into other areas to see where they can function well, see if they are good at leading from the back or leading from the front. So they can come out with ideas. Most people have ideas, but they just don't know how to approach it or how to break it down into a situation where you can digest it for properly to understand. So sometimes the leader is not able to communicate in a language that the followers need to understand to know what exactly to do. Hence the dreadlock. So if you can communicate properly in a language that the person can resonate with, you have to break it down into the language the person understands for you to be able to progress. So that's how I would put it. That's how I say it.
Brilliant. Brilliant. You just covered so much. This is like a proper business coaching session, but live. Um, I'm sorry, Victoria, but all these people have just benefited for free for life. But it's fascinating. I am just like in awe of everything you have said, especially using the colors and all of those examples, in how you manage your business and how you manage people. And people management is such an important, because at the end of the day, that's what business is, isn't it? It's just
It's
managing
all
people.
about
It's all
business.
about people,
Business
taking
is life,
care
and
of
life is
them.
yes. You're either managing money and resources all the time. And that money sometimes is physical, sometimes it's not physical. So management and leadership is at the core of everything, regardless of whether people realize it or not. You are managing, if you are not managing someone, you are managing yourself. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. So if one of the things I'm actually trying to do at the moment is develop a course, a leadership course.
Yeah.
Um, it's still in the making.
Hmm.
It should be ready in a couple of months,
Okay.
but I have this really strong urge to want to encourage more women like myself to feel that they can actually lead, and they can lead from the front.
Yes.
And I think for me, the key, the unlocking for me was visibility, being a
Mm-hmm.
lot more visible on LinkedIn. And then last year, out of the blue, just developing, opening up a YouTube channel. I don't really think about these things, Victoria. Is that, that V word, if I feel
Mm.
it, I can
Mm.
almost see it in my mind's eye. And now I have a YouTube channel. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to develop a course for women that will encourage them to become the kind of trailblazer
Yeah.
that the community needs right now. I think the pandemic has made me realize, anyway, and it's made the wider community, the world, realize how important it is. And the idea is that, if we have more women leading from the front, more people who are like can vision and can foresee a better world,
Yes.
because that's what vision is about. It's being able to see something that doesn't exist.
Yes.
And I think it is really rare, but I
Yeah.
would love to see the world changing. And I just feel like sometimes, I know it sounds like doomy and gloomy, but it isn't, because I do think that there are people out there, they may perhaps lack confidence to come forward. But if everyone was given the tools, like you just suggested, or the
Yeah.
tools and the skills and the right support, that somebody has their back, we would
Yeah.
certainly have a lot more people making a greater impact on our community and make our world a better place. So that's, for me, that's what vision is about. And
That's
and
what it's all about. That's right. Yeah,
yes,
so right. Yeah.
yes.
So when you're talking to someone, the person say, "Oh, I see." Like you are talking, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. I see. What do you think the person is trying to tell you? It means what you are saying. You are painting a picture in their head, and the person you are speaking in a language the person can understand and connect with. So, oh, I see. Oh, I see. What they are seeing with their mind. They are
Mhm.
seeing with their mind the insight of what you are saying. And this, what you are going to do, doing developing that course for women is so powerful. It's one of the reasons women don't know how much to charge for their coaching services. They don't know what to charge for. So sometimes they turn up doing it for free because you just don't know. You are all over the place. You are doing the right thing, but then you charge, or even you are charging, you can't charge properly. And this is where your course is gonna come in to say you take charge of what you are doing. You charge whatever you want to charge. Whoever wants it will buy it. They don't want it, that's okay. So when you are allowed and you allowed yourself to be speaking out on a place like YouTube and all of that stuff, it helps you, it helps the other person, and there's a change. Change always starts very slowly, but human as we are, we don't like change. And to be able to turn that key in the door slowly, slowly, slowly. The master key, it's always you have to turn it. The key can be in the door, you don't turn it, it doesn't open. So your course, I cannot wait to see the magic is going to do for a lot of people and women especially. So that will be a good one. I will be so looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't tell you. I'm a creator. I never stop creating if it's not baking a cake, and it's not a course. I work in a charity. It's very much hands-on. But it's like what you said, like when you feel something and you feel like perhaps I am the person who needs to do this, you feel responsible. And then it's not a question of whether, it's not even about running a business. It's about making a difference and an impact in the world. And for me, the impact, is very, very important. When you know your power, when you have delved in and you have seen it, it can do one of two things. One, it can scare the hell out of you,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
two, it could empower you.
Yes.
So I've got to say that
Running
I'm
away,
feeling
you are
empowered.
running away or you are running towards it. You're running away or running towards it. So if you are empowered, you'll be operating from a place of pleasure, you will run towards it. But if you are not, it's the other way around. So spot on, spot on. That's exactly what it is. Empowerment, impact making. Impact making. Many people thought they have to be on the world stage to make an impact. When I'm running my show, the Vicky's Impact Maker series, someone told me, but who knows me? Why would you want to interview me? If you are not making impact in on the world stage, you are making impact in your home. If you can tell me how you are running your home successfully, you are making an impact. If you can tell me how you are running that charity, it may be a charity in a small corner somewhere, you are making a huge impact. Why? Because another human being's life is being changed in the right direction. Another human being who have a door locked up in their face, all of a sudden is got the master key in the door and they are turning it slowly, slowly, slowly. And that door opens, they're like, oh my God, what did you just do? That is why most of the time when you are doing things like that, somebody say, how did you know? Well, I don't have to ask anybody. All I have to do is to listen to you talk. That's the window. That's the door to you. So we should not close that door. Some doors are open wide, they should have been closed. Some doors are closed, they should have been open. But until you turn that key, the door will never lock. Until you turn the key the other way around, it will never open. The key is in our hands, and women are at the front of it. We are in the pillars that build the home and that build the society. We need to turn that key. The master key is in our hand. Let's run with it.
I
Thank you.
love that. I love how you have just given us a label. Women are key holders.
Yes. Woo!
Woohoo! Women are key holders.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, it's been wonderful talking to you. I think we're going to have many more conversations. You're going to be releasing. You're going to be having a launch for your book soon. Tell us a bit about that, and then we'll wind down.
My book, I will be launching the book in March. I wanted to launch it, but there's so much happening between now and International Women's Day. And so I just thought, you know what? I just chill. This is my book. It is my life. It is my business. I can launch my book anytime. It doesn't necessarily have to be launched big. It can be, so I will launch it on Zoom, and the link, I will make the link available to those who will be interested in, and then we can do a Zoom launch and have fun and have a party launching that book and trying to find our master key and trying to use it to lock that. So as women, as key holders, we're going to take that key to the men in our homes and say, this door is been open for so long a time, help me to close it. This door is being closed for so long a time, I am turning the key on it and I'm opening it for all the good things that comes with it. So my book, it's available on Amazon, and it's also available on my website. Those who are interested can have access to that. If you can't find it, just message me or look for me in on LinkedIn. Mostly I live there on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, and then I'll give you the link. But all of that, or you can find it on my business page, business website, vickysbusinessandgrowth.com. You can find everything about the business and everything about the fashion side. You got to go to vickys.com to find me there. Thank you for the honor and for the opportunity to have this conversation. You promised me that we are going to meet, and you decided that we're going to meet publicly. How much fun was this? It was like a gold mine. We can keep digging for the rest of our life, but we got to stop somewhere and give people the chance to go and sleep and have a bit of rest and come back. So those who couldn't stay up, they can always come back and watch it. So thank you all for your time, and I thank you again for the honor of talking to you today. It's been powerful. Love it. every minute.
No, no, it's been up. Listen, the pleasure has all been mine. I've learnt a lot, and I think this conversation will continue. Yeah, I look forward to reading your book.
Thank you so much. It will
Thank
be an
you.
honor. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
Victoria. Take
Greetings to
care.
everybody around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.